What happens when the person you trust the most at work, the one you thought always would have your back, betrays you? Well, I wasn't sad or broken, but I was angry, disappointed, shocked because it came from someone I never expected. Hey, ladies. Hey, welcome to Rooted in Your Confidence. I am Samantha Kaye Harris, the brag bag strategist, certified life coach, and speaker. In this space, we don't just talk about building confidence. We talk about keeping it. Because in male-dominated industries, it's not if your confidence will be tested, it's when. Let me tell you, my confidence was tested in a way I didn't expect. This wasn't from a stranger or from someone who never supported me. This was from my colleague I trusted, a friend, the kind of person you think will always have your back. But in the moment, all of that shifted. I was at work, and in this season, we're very busy at my job. And during this time, I am now helping because I am retiring. I'm retiring in the beginning of next year. So it's a lot of training going on, preparing because this is our busy season and we work in situations with inclement weather. And it's a lot of times it's more about having a plan in place, emergency plan, so that people will go home to their families the same way they came to work. And I take that very seriously. And so does the operations period where I work. And my chief has certain things he needs in place because I am my chief's right hand. So now my colleague is being trained to replace me when I leave. And I was giving him directives, telling him what needed to be done and when. And he proceeded to tell me that he wasn't going to do this. Not today and not tomorrow, how important his job was, and wanted to explain to me that his name is on certain paper. And he just went on and on and on to the point that his voice had elevated. And I ended up having to tell him, you're going to do this. We're going to do, well, who's going to do my job? He just wanted to go back and forth. And understanding that this time of year supersedes everything else that we have going on. So no matter what you have going on, this is treated as if it's an emergency situation, even the prep part. But he refused to hear me out. He refused to understand anything that I was saying. It was going to be his way and not be the rules, regulations, or policies and procedures that have been put in place over the past 25 plus years. It really shocked me, to be honest, his resistance with excuses, where it was so bad, his resistance and him arguing back and forth with me. And the other supervisor that stepped in understood exactly what I was saying. He overheard it and he was trying to get him to listen. Let me listen to what she's saying. Hear her out. Give it a moment. But he was so caught up in being right. He was going to do things his way. But to be honest, this isn't the first time that this has happened. So I have to check in with myself. What's going on? This was not the first time he did this. It was because of a job that he didn't think that I should have, that he should have it because it made more money. The second time is because he did not want to take a directive from me. He only wanted to do what he wanted to do. Mind you, I am a higher level supervisor where I give directives, and he just refused to take a directive from me. So I had to ultimately end up saying to him, I'm talking to you as your supervisor, not your friend. I'm talking to you as the authority in the subject matter, and these are the expectations. And do you know what he did? He turned away from me and walked away, left me standing there. And let me tell you, I felt an array of emotions. I was offended. I was angry. I was disappointed. My hands were balled up in knots and my chest was beating so hard. When I think back about it, my ears were burning, standing there. I felt like I was in the forest and I couldn't see anything at all because my eyes had to be red at that moment. But one thing that came to mind during all of this was something Maya Angelou has always said: when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And I look at that and I did not. But let me tell you the true thing that makes this hurt even more. The colleague that intervened, I ended up asking him, hey, did I do anything wrong? Am I crazy? Did I say something out of line? And he proceeded to tell me, no, you didn't do anything wrong. What he did was wrong, unacceptable. And I had to catch myself that I was outside of me looking for validation. I was outside of myself. And I knew I was correct in the way I handled things. I knew I was correct in what I was asking to be done. I knew I was correct in inserting my authority at that moment because it's what I would have done with someone else. But yet and still, I still looked for validation from someone else because of the situation. And I was in disbelief that this was happening because there was no resolution that came from it. It was no, like, I apologize or come back later. It was none of those things. It was just dismissing of me. So I was still in awe and in shock, and it was. So trust me, when Maya Angelou says, when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe it, because it is true. And when you as a woman have to look outside of yourself for validation, that becomes a problem. I should never have had to think, hey, did I handle this right, when I already knew I did. That's what many of us do when we're smart, when we're capable and experienced. We still look for someone else to co-sign what we know to be true. So I had to tap into my self-allyship, that thing that we talk about all the time, us being our own ally, especially when we think someone else is our ally. We kind of sometimes step back. But thank God I had all of my stuff aligned. And I knew how that at that moment I had to readjust and step back in and realign with my higher self, which allowed me to become my own ally again. That's right. I became my own ally because I knew you have two choices. Either you keep chasing their approval or you come back to yourself. That's why being rooted in yourself, trusting yourself, even when others do not, is key to you not surviving but thriving. And that light bulb moment that I had was due to the stitching in my brag bag. It taught me in my brag bag, my self-trust is what I had to lean into on, not someone else's opinion of me. If the stitching comes loose, the whole world falls apart. So your stitching and you have to be tight. Now that I think about it, friendships in male-dominated industries, women with men, and why they break down, it's because of the masculine contest culture, competition in groups, loyalty, equal weakness. When you think about it, men pull back to protect image or rumors. So because we were having this conversation and someone stepped in, this is my belief system. I don't know it to be a fact. They want to still be masculine, be the one in charge, even though they're not, even though their title isn't high enough to make the decision. And ultimately it falls back on me being in a higher position because of my responsibilities are different. But he still wanted to pump his chest. He still wanted to be that guy as if he was in charge of me. And that's one of the reasons friendships, allyships break down in male-dominated industries. It's a threat to women. It's a status threat. Men pull back to protect their image, avoid rumors, organizational dynamics. Women in male friendships seen as outsiders, manipulative, and less professional, which creates a hostile culture such as biases, systematic problems that eat away at the trust. 75% of men say they have a close friend, but cross-gender friendships are fragile in male-heavy industries. Let me explain. 30% of women versus 19% of men report loneliness at work, proof of exclusion. Betrayal reduces trust not only in future colleagues. 2, promotions in male-dominated fields often rely on male bonding networks, systematically excluding women. Betrayal isn't just personal, it's systemic, just to let you know. So what I want to know is, how do you repair this? How do I repair my friendship? That's what I want to know. What would you do? Do you release it? And do you redefine how you trust in environments like this? For me, I'm going to redefine, because knowing who I am and knowing how my personality, and it's true, my human design, I have to go with my gut. And when I don't go with my gut, things don't always work out for me. So understanding how I am designed allowed me to make this best decision for me. And the best decision for me at this time is for me to redefine who I consider a friend and how I want to accept someone in my life as a friend. Because understanding yourself is so important. Understanding how you show up, how you are the woman that you are in these jobs. I'm not looking for validation. I'm not seeking anything that I can't give myself first. The person that I thought that I trusted the most, that spoke my names in rooms that I wasn't in, I am now more aware of who the next person, if anyone, I will allow in my space. My space is sacred to me. And having that respected is so important that I will not allow the way the world is defining a male and a female friendship and how the system is putting us against each other, where real loyalty and real respect is now questioned. Because I work in this environment doesn't mean I have to become a product of it. It just helps me align. Does it isolate me or alienate me? No, it will not. But I will be more aware. And I will take people at face value. What they show me is who they are. When trust is broke, I get to go back to my receipts pocket in my brag bag. That's where I keep the proof, the projects that I finished, the challenges I've overcome. The receipts remind me I've earned my seat no matter who supports me or doesn't. That's important to know. You get to make a choice. And a lot of times, working in male-dominated industries, we don't think we have a choice. But it is clear to me, and I'm hoping from this podcast episode, that you too have a choice. When trust breaks you, you don't boost yourself. You don't have to. Believe me when I tell you, you come back to your roots. Use your voice, your values, and you stand in that. That's the game changer. That's the win. When you already know that your confidence and your trust and your belief in you is rooted so deeply that it cannot be shaken. It is there. And you are unshakable. Not the water, not the wind will take the roots away. They will stay. You are standing 10 toes down and understanding that you have everything that you need since doing this work inside of you. When trust breaks you, You don't lose yourself. You get to come back to your roots, your voice, your value. Even when someone you thought was an ally shows you they're not, you can still be your own ally. That's where your power is. That's why keeping your brag bag, the stitching is my trust. The receipts are my proof. When outside support falls apart, I know what I've done. I know what I've built. I know I belong. If this episode hit home for you, don't just leave it here. Take the brag bag confidence assessment or book a brag bag session with me. Start building the proof and the power that will carry you through moments like this. This is a movement, not just using your voice. It's about keeping and trusting it, even when someone tries to take it away. We don't shrink over here. We speak from our roots. I'll see you next time. Sis, you don't have to twist, shrink, or hide. You deserve to be seen, heard, and valued for exactly who you are. If this episode spoke to you, make sure you follow, subscribe, so you never miss the conversation. And if you're ready to take this work deeper, take my confidence quiz. The link is in the show notes. Or book a session with me to start showing up in your career and life with the confidence you deserve. Until next time, walk through the door differently, show up, show out, be you, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Strong and fierce, taking over. No one can deny we're queens in our own right. Swagger on fleek, we're pulling the game, turning heads, yeah. We're making our own name, living free, we're breaking the mold. Unapologetic, we're standing bold. Every picture we post, it's a story untold. We're inspiring souls, watch us unfold, watch us unfold. Capture the moment, hold it tight. Every click, every flash, we're shining so bright. Through the lens, we're showing who we truly